Welcome everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to a very, very, very special edition of Stones Live Island Edition.
Yeehaw! Giddy up. It has been too long since we have been back in the booth together, and this is very exciting. It's a very special night.
Now, this booth looks a little different than our normal booth, if you guys can tell. I don't think we normally have as many awesome palm trees and ocean-y type background in our booth, but I'm really feeling it. I'm Justin Kelly, along with the one and only Kasey Mills, and damn am I excited.
I'm more than a little excited. The question is have they missed us more, or have we missed them more?
That's a really close. I mean, it's close to a coin flip, but I gotta say that we missed them more.
Definitely missed you guys more. So happy to be back, especially with the game that we have going on tonight. It's been a long time since we've commentated on a Harlan and Victims game.
I am so excited. Harlan and Victims, do you want to explain a little bit about Harlan and Victims for those who may not know how this game came to be and kind of what it is?
Yeah, Harlan, a huge crusher, always playing on our show, plays at all the highest limits. He just wrecks people's lives basically and takes all of their money.
Pretty much.
And so we decided to create a whole game around him, Harlan, and his victims.
Yeah, and I mean, it's pretty dope when you have a game named after you, literally with the term "and victims" immediately following. Not bad.
Harlan, though, has picked some interesting people to be his victims tonight. I'm a little concerned for Harlan, considering I see both Rich, Robert, and Dave-O in the game. For those of you who are familiar with our show, you guys know that this could get very swingy and very wild, and it could be anyone's night.
Yeah, at the end of the day, guys, these are what we put in the rangeless beast category, and I can't wait to start the action. Let's get down to the felt.
So before we get too much action started, though, the question of the night is, who are you picking for top pot of the night?
Oof, top pot of the night. I mean, it is the Harlan and Victims game, but I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, I think my vote probably has to go for good old classic Dave-O. He is, you can see him there in seat 1 in the blue shirt. He's absolutely fearless, but more important, he loves to go fishing, and fishing gets expensive, so win or lose, he's always involved in the really large pots.
Yeah, for me, it's super tough between Robert or Harlan. Rich is right in there, too. It's just a question, Robert's a stone cold killer, but he doesn't mix it up quite as much as Harlan does. Whose instincts are going to be on tonight? I think I've got to go with, we're going with Harlan tonight.
All right, well, we're going to get both these players involved in a pot right off the bat. Robert's popping 35 here from the hijack. A quick call with threes by Harlan. And over to Kev Rax here with ace-king, 3-betting it up to $1.25. Now, quick side note about Kevin Rax. He is traveling the country playing poker and actually raising awareness for sarcoma. Been following him on the Twitter sphere, and it's really been a fun, enjoyable journey, and he's getting a lot of traction, and I really, really like his vibe and what he's putting out there.
Yeah, I saw his story from the WSOP, and it was pretty amazing how that journey all came to fruition and how it really turned out in the end as well. If you guys haven't, definitely go check that out on Twitter. Ace 5-6 flop, 2 diamonds here. Kevin Rax is outflopping his opponents here. Top pair, top kicker. Harlan really doesn't have much going on. He needed to flop a set here to stand a chance. Robert quickly getting out of the mix.
And that's just going to go check through over to Kev Rax, who bets, and everybody runs for the hills. I think when you're facing a 3-bet from somebody like Kev Rax here, on an ace-high random board, you're right. Harlan was essentially just set mining with 3s, and once Robert missed with just king-high, he was pretty much in checkout mode.
Absolutely. So we can see our chip count, JJ at 5K, Joe 5K, our lowest chip stack at 1K, but we can see that these stacks will continue to get deeper as the night goes on. Pots play big, and this is table max, or is it uncapped?
Absolutely table max, I believe. Even if it is uncapped, it's not an entirely huge difference because our players here at Stones pretty much buy in for max all day, every day. So it is interesting. So I know in some of the lower limits we have, for instance, 1-3, it starts as a $500 max buy-in. Oh, taking pictures of the wine.
Brittany, Littlefoot.
Oh, I do miss her. Oh, she's great.
We need to pretend that they're coming and serving us our tropical.
They are. Cheers.
By the way, cheers, darling.
Cheers. Boom. Let's do it.
Reunited and it feels so good. So Train and I have been living on an island together for a little bit. How's it been living with me now?
It's been pretty solid. It's been a lot of fun. I honestly could never in my wildest dreams imagine we would be doing poker commentary where I can look here at the camera and I can look immediately over at the ocean I recently swam across.
It is pretty fantastic. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to deal with you for more than 4 hours at a time, like on a Stones Live show. But so far, so good.
Nice. We'll take it.
Little yacht life ain't bad.
You know, that's why. She's like, I'll put up with you as long as there's a yacht involved.
As long as you're my cameraman on the yacht.
Understandable.
We can handle that.
We can make that happen. All right, so Joe B here with 6-7 suited is going to pop it to 60. Harlan with another pair here. 5's going to come along as well as Swing Bull. Flop peels down, queen high, couple of spades on board. We got a gutter for Joe. Not much going on for Harlan, although it is currently the best hand. Looks like it checks through.
Yeah, board pairing here on the turn. Doesn't change much for anyone. Joe B again with that gut shot, but Harlan's still best with the 5s.
And again, 4 peels down on the river. It is an under. Harlan thinking, my 5's good. If I could get to showdown, I'd be a happy man, and he sure does. That's where you're like, I'd like to put no money in this pot and just win it, please. That would be ideal.
Right. I don't think he could get a lot of value from basically any hand at all there, so it's fine for him to just check back on that river. It did complete spades, but no one played that hand as if they had a flush draw.
No way.
I think he likely thinks he's winning there, and he's right, but just can't get any more value out of anyone.
Yeah, I think most flush draws and most straight draws would have at least fired one of those streets. You know, a little semi-bluff, get some fold equity in there for sure. So I think, yeah, he was happy to... I think once everybody starts checking it to you on the river, you're like, oh, I got this.
For sure. Turn over and win. Ooh, it looks like the drinks are starting to flow.
And this game is taking place on Saturday. A lot of the games actually take place on Wednesday here, some of our big games as well at Stones Live, which is Wine Wednesday. But the bottles are always flowing. Another thing, if you see a player eating a salad, a kind of an inside joke we have here at Stones Live is the salad run good. If you order a salad at Stones, you just start winning. Your aces hold, you flop sets. It's a beautiful thing, I promise you.
Pime Appleman following on Twitch. Thank you, baby.
And walking around the table here, looking at those sexy, sexy looking chips. The white chips are hundreds, greens are 25s, reds are 5s, and those really, really cool looking oversized yellow chips are actually 1K chips.
Nice.
It looks like we're going to start out here with a raise from Robert under the gun +1 with King 10, and he's going to get looked up by just about the entire village. 6 high peels down here. Pretty rando board, and not a whole ton going on.
Yeah, Davo flopping bottom pair, and Harlan with a gutter ball to the 8. Some overcards going on, but again, not a lot going on. Joe B also can hit a 3 here to make his straight. Let's see how this action goes down. Davo leading out with bottom pair. It is currently the best hand, although the equity doesn't show it to be as such. We know it is. Harlan with the 2 overcards in the gut shot, equity-wise showing best.
Oh, there we go. And it looks like Davo is going to make the call. Fearless Davo. The board pairs on the turn. Dave immediately checks over to Harlan, who has position. 375 in the pot. And Harlan, oh, he thinks about it. He goes for the check back as well. 7 on the river is going to give Harlan the best hand here. Let's see what Dave likes. Dave, no, Dave's firing. He's going to throw a hundo right into 375, pushing the pot just shy of 500.
Yeah, I like the check back from Harlan on that turn card, specifically because it is Davo. That 5 didn't change anything. If Davo's calling on the flop, he's calling on the turn. Davo is one of our stickiest players. He doesn't like to fold a pair, and Harlan knows that and shuts it down, rightfully so, but gets lucky on the river here.
Absolutely does. And you can see Dave just flips over the deuce there, and Harlan's like, nice, I got that 7. And he's going to take it down just and this is funny, this is just a small baby pot here, just shy of $600 on Stones Live, and you are going to see that on the regular. Now, this is one of our more healthy games. It says 5-5 there. I actually believe this might be a 5-10 or at least a 5-5 with a mandatory straddle. But if you guys have watched us previously, I mean, you've seen our 1-3 games like Veronica and Friends get absolutely insane. We've had upwards of 50K plus on the table in a 1-3 game, and that is also when we start with a $500 max buy. So I tell people when they come to Stones, whatever limits you normally play, step down one and start there and then figure it out.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because this table match, our 1-3 plays bigger than 2-5s. But games can be super juicy because of that as well. So they play bigger, but you're also oftentimes going to find players that you wouldn't typically, you're going to be playing big pots against players who normally play lower, and thus can be more profitable if you can hang on for the ride.
Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I've been in there where there were players actually leaving the list from a 2-5 game to hop into a 1-3 game because there was a guy stuck 10K in a 1-3. This is real.
If you guys are not already, make sure you are following Stones Live on Twitch as well as YouTube. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
all the things, all the socials, Google Stones Live. Just click all the hearts and all the thumbs.
Dear God, is that a joke? Look at that bad beat jackpot.
Oh my, I can't believe that. That is insane. So you guys see there, $152,000 in the regular no limit hold'em, and in limit it's doubled. Over $300,000, guys. Qualifications really, really easy. I mean, easy enough that we haven't hit it yet, I guess, right? Quads are better beat, both cards play, that's it. And it's been how long? 9 months? Maybe a year?
Close
It's been
to
a
year
long
now.
time.
You know, right now, Dave O waking up with a monster here with the Ace King. Joe B decides to defend from the cutoff here, the Ace 3.
And this is
After
just
turn.
this just goes quick bet fold here. It's funny because the second Dave O put out chips, he was already tabling his hand because you could tell his opponent snap folded.
Now, anyone can play on Stones Live as well. If you would like to get in these very wild, very crazy games, all you need to do is send out a text message or email Stones Live Poker, Justin Caritis. What is, Justin's?
Yeah, I believe it's jcaritis at stoneslifepoker.net. Either way there, you can type that in the chat and we'll go ahead and hook you up with that address. But it's really, really easy, and we do make special accommodations for if anybody maybe is only in town for a certain period of time. We make sure to get you a slot on the game. Nothing makes us happier than a fan coming from anywhere from across the street, across the nation, across the world, and coming in to basically play on a global stage of poker that they are already a fan of. It makes us happy inside.
And Joe B, pretty happy now with the king, queen off. He wakes up from the hijack. He decides to just limp in, makes a call. Dave O now here with the ace 6. From the cutoff, he's going to pop it up. If Dave O's coming into a pot, he's going to raisey daisy it.
He sure is.
And I like it.
Dave-O says, I don't play for pennies, I play for dollars.
Ooh, 3-bet from JJ right now with the 10-7 here. A little suited 2-gapper on the button.
JJ
Definitely
getting a little
playable.
spunky,
Yeah.
but position does a lot of fun things, man, guys. The power position in poker is real here.
Yeah, no, I don't mind this 3-bet really with a flat from the hijack, and then Dave-O with the cutoff coming in for an open. You don't really want to allow the blinds in there as well and then end up playing a 5-way pot here. Much better to isolate, get it down to 2 or 3 ways, and then be able to play in position well post-flop.
Yeah, 100%. If JJ doesn't raise there is absolutely zero chance of either blinds folding, so you will be getting
Right.
a lot of people in this pot. 4-4-3 peels down, and a whole lot of nada for pretty much everybody. Dave O's ace 6 high. Still the best.
Now, as our 3-better, JJ here is repping a very strong range, can have a lot of over pairs, a lot of really strong aces in his hand, and so he is going to c-bet and fire out, and on this board, this is likely to just work and get through. And this really shows the value of 3-betting.
Absolutely. I mean, on this board texture right here, there's absolutely no reason why people shouldn't give you credit for ace king, ace queen, or any random pocket pair. Obviously, with it being a 4-high
100%.
board, how are you ever beating them here? But then again, what
It's
do I
Stones
know?
Live!
Look at Joe. Joe's just coming along for a float with king high and says, not that easy, dude.
In a typical game, you might just get folds, but again, these players are hand-picked by Harlan because
Yeah.
they like to get sticky, they like to mix it up, they want to see if they can make a play and steal it away here. Now, JJ does hit top pair on the turn, though, which is going to give him the ability to continue to fire. It's a great turn card for him to fire again.
Oh, it's a perfect turn card for him to hit that. And the thing is, what is he putting his opponent on, right? His opponent really wasn't firing hard
Can't
pre.
rep obviously any 4 or 3. I think a 2/3 bet sizing would be good here. Pot was about 580. Let's see what he decided to go with.
And the interesting part is, as far as JJ ranging his opponent Joe here, Joe didn't put a lot of raising in pre, so even if he has a pocket pair, it's not jacks plus. So you got to be feeling really good about your 10 here.
For sure. Yeah, he actually just limped called as well.
Exactly.
So,
So, I mean, unless you happen to flop, like, I don't know, quad 4s, maybe some weird ace 4 suited and got sticky, I'm feeling really good, or maybe pocket 3s. I'm feeling excellent about my 10 here on the turn.
for sure. Now, there are those players that will play tricky with the flatting and then calling and try to play a hand tricky, but I think JJ putting Joe to be pretty straightforward here, and the second bet does get it through here on the turn.
And it's a totally different story. If he check raises you now on the turn when the second bet comes, then you have some life choices to make. But for the most part, I see that double barrel as a super strong play, and you're pretty much feeling really comfortable with your 10 already on the turn as it is.
Now, what do we think if it doesn't come a 10? How about if it comes like an ace is a great card for him to continue to fire on as well. However, when his opponent does call flop, calls the 3-bet, then calls flop, It's going to make him a little bit nervous, probably firing on that turn card as well. But, yeah, we'd like a fire on an ace. What if it was some, like, random card, like 8 of clubs?
Yeah,
what are you thinking?
that'd be a tough spot. I mean, the funny thing is again, though, because I 3-bet pre, I find it more easy to sell the story that I have a big pair in my hand.
Right.
So I think I'm going to fire pretty much any turn that comes out, right? I'm going to rep a big pair if it's a random blank 8, and if it is the ace or king, I'm going to rep that as well.
I agree.
So Dave here on the hijack with king 6 suited, he's like, I got 2 cards and they match. Let's go. He's going to pop it to 30. And now JJ, if he was good enough to 3-bet with 7-10 suited, you bet your ass he's good enough with ace-10 suited. He's going to make it 60 to go, and this should isolate down to heads up.
And what these players are going to find is that if JJ and some of the others who like to mix it up just continue to 3-bet and they're just finding themselves folding and folding, eventually they'll have to start firing back and mixing it up some. But as long as it's going to continue to work, they've got to continue to press the action and raise up to the amount that's going to isolate down to heads up 3 ways.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, Dave continuing here, the king 6 suited. This is why I love Stones Live so much. At the end of the day, even boring games are never boring. There's no such thing as a boring game at Stones. Oh, man. It's good
stuff.
stuff.
A vocabulary lesson. 3-5 queen rainbow flop here. And again, no one actually connecting directly with this board, so we can just look at like range for range advantages here. But Dave-O folds before we can even mutter a few words, and JJ's going to take down another pot. So far, we are going to dub JJ the 3-bet C-bet king. That's just what he's doing. What a monster. Pretty healthy stacks here. I do not. I'm not super familiar with JJ. I want to say I've played with him maybe once, but I definitely haven't seen him grind on Stones Live a decent amount. It's funny, we get these players who might be new to Stones Live. Maybe they're new to the area, or maybe they just haven't played on there, because sometimes people get a little nervous playing essentially on, we'll call this TV, because they can see their hold cards. But it is really funny. I mean, I remember the first time I played on an RFID table, guys, which is how we read the cards. There's little tiny chips in each of them. The first time I played basically on an RFID televised table, I was a little nervous as well. I think you were too. And it's one of those things where you just kind of got to do it, and then the nerves just fade away pretty quickly. You forget very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Do you think you played looser or tighter under that first time?
I think to start, you play tighter because you don't want to look kind of like a donkey. You're like, oh my God, how is this guy calling here? How are you calling this guy light? It's obvious he has a monster. But then you just kind of get into it, and then you're right. The cameras fade away, and you play your game.
For sure, 100%. Robert here decides now he's going to 3-bet it up with the ace-10 off from the cutoff, up to $90 after Dave-O raising. So he just 3x Dave-O's open. See how well this works here. Because I'm thinking 4x might have been a better choice, as we do end up going 4 ways on this board.
And Kevrax still with the mystery hand, guys. We'll try to get that uncovered for you as soon as possible. But in the meantime, Robert looking pretty good. Also, Robert, a very, very solid player and relatively snug. I mean, he's not afraid to make a move, but he doesn't get out of line too often.
I think he really helps promote that image as well. Mm-hmm. As profitable as he is not afraid to call off if something doesn't make sense. If
he goes with his gut,
yeah, he really just will play off of his reads. But he does have that image of being tighter, and he works it to his advantage, which I love.
So it looks like this flop completely checks through here, and we can see an ace of clubs peels the turn. That connects with both Dave and Robert. Meanwhile, we do have just a pair of 8s for Joe. Kevin still with the mystery hand.
Got to be time for somebody to start putting some money in this pot. Dave-O is, with his baby ace, is going to bet up to 125. Looking maybe to get value from some of like a Queen X type of hands. And Robert, though, here with the better 10. I don't know if I love this lead from Dave-O with the ace against 4 players. When it checks through on that flop and ace peels on the turn.
I don't either, but look at this now. We do see Kevin's hand, and what a monster. Queens second set. He actually just flatted Robert's raise pre-flop, and he has the absolute world. So even though Dave and Robert both connect with top pair on the turn, none of it matters. This is the Kev Rax price extraction show.
And who took Kevin for top pot of the night?
Wow, monster. And look at this. He just flats here. His hand is so disguised. Any 10 or deuce on the river is just going to get extra added value right in the Rack's pockets.
Now, when Dave-O calls this, or if Dave-O calls this, does that then allow Robert to escape with the ace-10 here and get away clean free? It is Dave-O calling, so he could be calling with a lot of draws.
Oh my God! How do we not get in stacks here? Okay, guys, pot's already at 1.2K.
God.
Kevrak's first to act, and this is disgusting. He's like, I can't check and risk you guys checking back. I want more money in my pot. Once again, guys, whites are hundreds, greens are 25s, reds are 5s, and we're putting in a stack.
Wow,
And
what sizing does he go with here?
And the way that Kevin has played this hand, how can you ever put this man on queens full? Ever. Like, you just can't.
He bets out 800.
And now Dave thinking he's got the sweet spot, but he also has Robert behind.
No, I don't think Dave-O likes his hand here. I think he's really gonna fold here with his baby ace going 4 ways to the flop. The way the hand played on the turn, I think Dave-O thinks he's up against the case.
Well, look at this plus he has Robert behind him.
He also thinks he's too strong to fold. So Dave-O feels like in a tough spot. He thinks a lot of times he's going to turn over his hand. And he's going to be dead to every other ace in the deck. Over an 8, obviously.
Now, if you're Robert, this is laughable. As you can see, he shows his hand to Harlan, insta folds. Great fold by Robert.
This is what I was saying on the turn. If Robert would be able to escape because of Dave-O's call, which he does do. Lucky for Robert, he gets out. And this pot, over 2.8K.
Wow.
Crazy that he didn't end up getting it all. Dave-O could have played out differently and lost even more.
Now here's my question: if Dave-O folds, I mean, obviously Robert has to keep him honest, right? With the ace-10 here.
Yeah.
I think Robert tanks, but eventually finds the call.
And another question is, if Kevin checks because he is out of position in the hand. Let's say he checks. Is it just going to go check all the way through to river? Do you think somebody's going to try to fire some value on that?
No way. It's somebody's. I guarantee you 1,000%. That's a real number, guys. 1,000%. Because it happens 10 times. It's not even there. No way. Dave-O definitely fires, and if he doesn't, Robert does. Actually, I think that Robert is the type of guy to where he is snug enough and he sometimes wouldn't want to get greedy in that spot. Robert actually might find a check if Dave checks, but that's not going to happen because Dave is going to fire on the river with trip aces all day long. That's just the type of player he is. Wow, epic pot. And what a slow roll for us in the booth, too, not even knowing that Kevin had queens until the turn. Sick. Wow, once again, guys, that bad beat jackpot popping up there, absolutely astronomical. Look, I love this. This is my favorite thing. You already get another hand. You can't even stack your chips. You're already in the next pot. Life's good.
So if Kevin had checked, he possibly maybe would have gotten it all because he could have checked raised Dave-O all in, and Dave would have called off at that point with the pot being so large. I think that a lot of that just comes down to knowing your opponent in these positions. But yeah, what a sick spot. 3 ways there.
And because Dave-O's not deeper, you're right. If he would have, because he would have came in for a pretty large size bet, and if Kevin would have shipped, Dave-O wouldn't have had enough behind to fold. It'd be different if Dave-O had thousands behind and then could find a fold since he just had ace deuce. But in that particular case, I think a check raise would have got the rest of Dave's chips. I agree with you. But Dave's going to try to get some redemption song here. Joe with 8s, Dave with 10s, now 3-betting it to 75.
Those 10s are singing the ace song. Ace will come on the flop.
As long as I get a 10. As long as I get a 10, then you can have whatever ace you want, okay? And Joe's going to come along as well. Why do I feel like we're just going to get a car crash of a hand going on here? Ace 8 10. Let's do it, guys. One time. Wow, and Joe elects to 4-bet to 375. That's a very, very large 4-bet. And now,
pocket 8s.
Yeah, and Dave, if you're Dave, do your 10 start shrinking up just a little bit? But then again, how much do we have behind? I mean, at that point, he's got, what, 400 or 500 behind? It says 9, but that might not be accurate. If he's only got about 400 or 500 behind, this might be a ship for Dave.
Of course, yeah.
I think this has got to be a ship for him. If he's only got 200 some chain, 300, this is a ship, right? He's just going to flat. I'd like to see Dave rip it in there. He's only got 200 and something behind. The pot's already so bloated. You have no fold equity against your opponent most of the time.
Go ahead and put it in.
I'd rip it there. Oh, Dave!
Dear God.
My man Dave is hurting. Mid-set there for Joe. Instantly putting in Dave. Instantly called by Dave. Because you know why? That is not a bad flop for 10s, right?
It's not. Only one overcard. They can't really have that many Jack X.
Oh, open-ended sweat.
Jacks or ace Jacks to be 4-betting. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that turn was interesting.
And guys, you'll hear this over and over again in poker. And you'll hear the term, there's always a sweat. And that means that even when somebody's being absolutely dominated in a hand, I feel like the board always leaves a little bit of opportunity to get lucky there.
That's what makes it so exciting and fun to watch and fun to play as well sometimes when you're on the good end of it. But also here on Stones Live, they do on the show allow players to run out multiple boards. So if you get it all in, they could have ended up running that up to 3 times to see if Davo would have gotten 2 more pulls at the deck.
Now, how does that work, actually? If they run it multiple times, you can run it up to 3. So tell me, if they run it 2 versus if they run it 3 times, how does the pot change? What happens?
Well, they're going to take an extra pull, or the casino's going to drop an extra drop, but they're going to actually, the cards that have already been out are going to just remain in play. And so if we're on the flop, they're just going to run 3 different turns in rivers.
Okay.
It was typical burn card, just normal. Same thing turn, it'll just be 1 extra card in the river, so they don't run out full new boards, just the extra cards.
And then what about the pot, though? Like, so if I win all 3, then I get the entire pot?
Right.
What if I just win like 2 of the boards?
You get 2/3.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's cool. So basically, you have a chance to split it if we're running it twice. But if we're running it more than twice, like 3 times, obviously, then there's always going to be some sort of winner and loser. And I hear that that's what a lot of players kind of prefer.
Yeah, well, exactly. You guys all know me. I am all for 1 or 3 times. I want to see the blood. Let's have some pain and punishment.
There will be blood. Oh, man. That is Sarah in the box, one of our resident rock star dealers, also dealer trainer extraordinaire.
This is making me miss home.
Oh, this is home, baby. This is great. This is literally us getting back to our roots just on a tropical environment. This is fantastic.
That's right.
Everything about this makes me happy inside. And you can see there we have our chip runner in the red shirt giving people some reload chips, and Dave is doing a little seat move. He's moving from seat 1 over to seat 7. So the funny joke we always make about this game, and most games on Stones Live, is that there is so much action and so many people are basically just dumping stacks on the regular that we need an extra chip runner just for this table. Just to keep bringing chips to
100%.
this table.
Who is that in seat 6?
That was actually K-Rax there, who just stepped out. That was our boy with a set of queens.
Okay, I guess I'm saying seat 7 then. I thought we were playing 8-handed. He's got a stack of white there.
Oh, gotcha.
100.
I thought you meant who just left the table, yeah. And Joe B, man. Joe B is not afraid to mix it up and gamble a little bit. We've seen him on our stream multiple times. Generally, I think without that hat. But, yeah, I like Joe. Joe's a good guy, and I'll tell you what, Joe's one of those guys where even if he just gets clobbered at the tables, you know, and he loses thousands, he's always got a smile on his face. He's always having a good time. Robert in the mix here from the big, popping it to 65 after JJ comes along from the small.
You know what I really want? A full Xena moment.
Oof, I know. Guys, if we get a hero call, we're going to get a full Xena moment for sure. Not on this board, though. Deuce 6-6, couple of diamonds out there, a whole lot of nada for both players. Robert's king high still in the lead.
He did spike my drink with Bang, so he could be in for an interesting
Oh,
evening.
yeah, guys. This episode of Island Stones Live brought to you by Bang Energy Drinks. When you just need to bang it out.
Just talk to me in Russian, please.
Well, perhaps we do the Russian for you, yes? Now, as you can see, JJ here is just calling with the 7 high. Oh, in fact, he's check raising Robert. And Robert must be a little scared, and he will find the fold. Great play by JJ.
A check raise is so sexy to me. I think we should do the whole show in a sexy accent. What do you think, my darling?
Man. I don't know if I'm ready for the whole show in that accent. But I will mix it up. I will mix up the accents for sure. We'll definitely get in some movie preview voice as well.
Ooh, I like that one.
Always fun. Always fun to see what's coming soon to theaters. And that new Sexy Stones Live felt as well. Really, really digging it. So Dave, with the seat change, let me ask you, do you seat change often? Do you have kind of a system to when you do a seat change at the table? Or is it just kind of by feel?
No, I don't seat change often. I don't think that there's a lot of advantage to it unless you are moving to a seat to where, you know, the money flows down. Mm-hmm. So if you're moving to a seat to where it's just going to be more profitable based on the players that are to your right. But I think you have to be really careful because those players know what's going on. So, you don't want to offend anyone and run off your dinner, right?
Yeah, of course.
By switching seats and making it obvious that you're like after somebody. You have to be really careful doing that. But I think that's really the only advantage actually to switching seats is just because of the action of a seat to your right.
Yeah, 100%. I think for me, it's not necessarily, I very rarely switch seats when I'm, quote, card dead. I generally switch seats when it's just to get advantage on a trickier opponent. Because playing out of position against a really, really skilled opponent just adds an extra level of thinking that I necessarily don't want at the table. Yeah. I'd rather just pick on the easy fish, right?
Right. That's true.
And look at those chip stacks, very, very healthy. Half the players on the table over the 5K mark. And then we got 4K there for Swing Bull. Robert, Rich, and Dave-O just floating around that 1 to 1.5K mark. But that is, I mean, it's so easy for any one of those guys to get it in and find not only a double, but potentially a triple when everybody else is so relatively deep stacked. I mean, they have you outstacked 5 to 1. It's not too hard to get $1,000 in before the river in a multi-way pot on this table.
No, not with this lineup either as well. Jack 9 suited here for Dave-O. From under the gun, he's going to just, looks like he's going to limp in. Oh, he min raises? Or I think it's at 10 to get in, so he must be in the straddle position.
Good old
Robert
Dave-O.
wants to play along here from the button. I think Robert's looking to mix it up here from in position. I think he believes in his ability to outplay most of these opponents post-flop. And again, we talked about him having a tighter image. You can see him mixing it up here with the 6-4, though. I think he wants to play pots against Dave-O post-flop. And King, Jack, King here. Everything for Dave-O, not much at all for Robert, who is going to fire on and get the news here that maybe alarm bells are going to start going off here pretty quick.
Because Dave isn't going anywhere here. And if Dave had any piece of that board here, obviously we doubt that Dave has the king here. Very potentially likely that he could have a jack. Now he's got the 9 as well. He could also have a variety of combo draws, straight draws, flush draws. At the end of the day, I just think it's really hard to blow Dave off this board texture if he has any piece of it, and Robert knew that, which is why he shut down there.
Yeah, Robert knew right away that Dave-O had to have something there. 6 high ain't going to cut it. I like that he was able to shut it down. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, we have a fish in our midst here.
Tell me more.
The train fish who if you guys want to see his epic swim for glory, you'll have to check out the Thirst Lounge YouTube channel.
True.
As he attempted to swim from one island all the way to the other island. Also, you'll get to hear that amazing voice. What did you call that voice?
Oh, the movie preview voice.
The movie preview voice in that footage as well. It's one of the best things I think I've ever seen. There was a ton of money on the line between Kevin Martin and Bill Perkins. And it was pretty insane to watch.
It was. I'll tell you what, guys. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Within minutes into my swim, I immediately went into my head and thought, "What in the hell were you thinking?" And there's no stopping. There's no rest breaks. It's not like you're running. You can walk for a minute. You're in the ocean and you're swimming. And every second you're not swimming, you're moving backwards because of the current. It was absolutely epic, and. If you ask me to go do it again, the answer is most likely going to be no. But it was a blast, and the video tells all. Got some great drone footage, so definitely go check that out on the Thirst Lounge YouTube channel. In the meantime, Joe with Ace King 3-betting up to 130, and that's just gonna find some folds. Yeah, pretty crazy. We also had another prop bet that actually just went down today. We had John Party, also in the Thirst Lounge, running his mouth saying, I can run a 6-minute mile. No big deal. Guys, this is a 260-pound refrigerator of a man who says, I can run a 6-minute mile, no problem. The second he said that, I was like, I'll bet you $100. She's like, I can do it tomorrow. I can do it right now. And I'm like, $100. She's like, done. Walks over, shakes my hand. Kasey gets in on the action. Another Thirst Lounge member. Then, again, back to the Twitter prop bet board. Kmart gets in on it. Bill Perkins gets in on it. A couple other people. All of a sudden, he's got to run a 6-minute mile in the sweltering heat of the Virgin Islands.
With $10K on the line.
For $10,000. And I'll tell you what, if there was ever a time in my life where I could run a 6-minute mile, it's probably going to be when there's $10K on the line.
Yeah, and by the way, this all started because Bill Perkins was betting Dan Bilzerian I don't know if you guys have seen Dan Bilzerian lately, but he is in pretty good shape.
Pretty solid
And
shape.
Bill Perkins was betting against Dan Bilzerian to be able to make a 6-minute mile with a month of practice.
So,
and John
yeah.
Party at 260, who hasn't been doing anything really, right? I mean, he's like hanging out. He just like snap called and said, I'll do it tomorrow.
Of course. So that video, we did film that today. No spoilers. The results will be, again, on the Thirst Lounge YouTube channel on July 22nd. So you won't want to miss that. And Robert here popping into 35 with our buddy Scott's favorite hand, a.k.a. Hop Grenade, another commentator here.
I don't want to see Ace Queen.
The good old
again
Ace
for a long
Queen
time.
suited.
Ace Queen's how I busted the Venom.
No. All right, Jack High board here, Alto, Rainbow, and not a bad flop for Robert. Everybody pretty much misses, but Robert's got 2 overs and what we call a gutter to the nutter, guys. He's got a straight draw to Broadway here.
Yeah, by the way, all of the Thirst Lounge hosts played the Venom tournament, the 5 million Venom tournament on America's Card Room. Some of them will be streaming it tomorrow live on our channel here on Twitch, on the Thirst Lounge channel. So you guys can definitely check that out. 1 million first place prize. Right now, Dave O is mulling it over with King High. It's 40 to call.
Yeah, I mean, you could either win $1 million in the Venom, or you could try to beat John Party and then just run the 6-minute mile 1,000 times. I mean, either way, however you get your $1 million, that's up to you.
If John Party can run a 6-minute mile,
We'll see. Either way, that's going to be close. It's going to be real close.
Yeah.
Obviously, we think there's no way. That's why we bet against
There's
him.
obviously, like, come on.
So look at this
Once you guys
turn.
look at the trailer, once you guys look at the trailer of John Party, like, just running around our house, the whole world, no one thinks he can do this.
You'll see that brick of a man. Now, what a turn for Robert here. Obviously, we do see he fires and Davo finds a fold. But as if you needed more outs with 2 overs and a gut shot straight draw, you also pick up the nut flush draw on the turn. Really sweet. And that's what we're talking about, guys, when you can just bet it to win it. So, for instance, right there, technically, all he had was ace high. But what he had was a great semi-bluff opportunity and a lot of fold equity against his opponent. So I'm just going to bet, and I'm going to get the majority of okay hands to call. Otherwise, they're just going to fold out, and I don't even have to hit my straight or flush. I'm just going to win.
Because that's all you do every day.
All I do is win, 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 win. I think they made a song about it. There's probably air horns in it. I'm not sure.
Winning for me is getting to listen to you speak to me in Russian for another hour, darling.
Tell me more. Good. Yes, good, excellent.
Is the bang Kasey the best Kasey? Can you just say this to me, please?
Red Bull Kasey is best Kasey.
Pocket 4 is here for Swing Bull from the cutoff. He's going to make the call. Now, Joe B, waking up with a real hand here. Ace King off from the small blind. Expect him to raise it up.
Question mark?
What's happening, Joe B?
Joe B getting real sneaky here. Jack high board, couple of hearts, and Joe B with 2 overs, and again, that same gut shot to Broadway. Meanwhile, the actual best of it was Swing Bull with 4s here, but you can't feel amazing in a multi-way pot with 4s with 10 jack out there. And talk about a draw-heavy board, guys. So when we talk about draw-heavy boards or wet board textures, 100%. Anything like 10 jack, especially with a possible flush draw out there, is such a draw-heavy board. Think about the range of hands that can continue. Any 2 overs, any like 8-9, Queen 9. There are so many, any 2 hearts. There are so many people who want to look you up. So completely barreling with something like 4s here is not ever really the GTO move here in Swing Bull's case.
Now 4 hearts on the river here. Nobody, 4-way putt, nobody has any piece of this. Swing Bull with pocket 4s is best on this river, and that is like a joke to me.
And it gets checked down. That's the most joke part. I'm surprised. I mean, I guess Joe didn't raise with Ace King, so he never really had a chance to fire. He figured he'd get called by any random pair, and he's right, but man, that's interesting. Now, VPIP, guys, that is voluntarily put in play. So you can see Davo at the top of that. That is 83%, guys. That just means the times basically out of all the hands that you get dealt, that you are putting money into the pot. So the really, really loose players, the more splashy players who like to play a lot of hands, they will have a higher VPIP. In fact, there is a player generally known on Stones Live as AC, or what we like to call him, 100% VPIP.
He has his own shirt.
Yeah, I literally made him a shirt that says 100% VPIP, and I think the only time his VPIP goes down is when he has to step away from the table to go to the bathroom because he misses a hand. Other than that, he's in everyone. Wow, speaking of Swing Bull, back at it, swinging it around. Raising a 30 here with Jack 9.
I think with that hand, the last hand we saw, just really goes to show is how freaking hard it is to make a pair and no limit hold on it.
Right?
Jesus.
Meanwhile, I like run my good hands into quads, and I'm like, but somebody told me it was hard to make a pair. Damn it.
Right? That can cost us when we get a little too sticky with bottom pair. 497 here. Swing Bull hitting top pair this time. Harlan with the mystery hand. This is a rainbow board. And Davo with the king high.
Last time we had a mystery hand, K-Rax woke up with mid-set, so let's see if this is anything similar to that. And he is going to come along here.
Ooh.
Oh, 6-9. There you go. So top
Worst
pair for
kicker,
Harlan as
though.
well.
Deuce on the turn is going to make it really hard for Harlan to end up on top here. There's not chop options. He needs to hit a 6 and only a 6 here to be able to win this hand. 5 on the river is not going to do it. Pot's at 550. Swing Bull is content to just check it. This one going over to Swing Bull.
And that's 2 in a row. It's a kill pot. It's a kill pot.
Now make sure you guys download the Stones Gambling Hall app. If you guys have not already played at Stones, it's probably the best room. And I mean, they don't even pay me to say that, right? I mean, everyone loves Stone's room. I think Jamin, all the vloggers, Kmart, Nimi have said it's like their favorite place to play
100%.
in America. And if you download the app, you can actually register for your games right there. You can check out our calendar. You can call and order some of the amazing food. Thinking about Stone's Live food.
Stone's Live food is delicious. And the kitchen is actually available all 24 hours, the full menu. A lot of fun. Speaking of Kmart saying that he has basically the endorsement of Stones for sure, check this out. He said 100% his favorite place to play in the U.S. is Stones.
Yeah, that's what Nimi told me that too.
With that being said, it is also the establishment he is stuck the most at.
That's right.
So I thought that was really cool. That's a testament right there. Also, another fan of Stone's, Moneymaker. We lured him out one time, and I swear to God, the guy just never left.
Never leaves.
He's out there every 3 weeks. He's out there every month. He's always in the booth. He's always drinking a really classy $100 plus bottle of wine, but with the straw because he's classy.
Yeah, he was in the World Series of Poker. He was on the main table on, I believe, ESPN, and he was rocking the Stones Live hat. It was awesome. Awesome to see.
Good dude. All right, meanwhile, Davo's in a pot, no surprise there. And look at the new shooter sitting down in seat 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce you to Rich, even though he really doesn't need any introduction. He is an absolute crusher. If you go and look in the Stones Live hand archives, there is an epic ace-high versus re-ace-high bluff between him and Postle, where I believe there was 4 different bets fired back and forth with just ace-highs on the river. And it was just, it's absolutely insane. It's pure insanity to watch. You have to go check it out.
That's the one that Harlan wins, right?
No. It was just on the river, and both of them bricked out. It was both Rich and Postle. They both completely.
Rich and Postle.
Yeah, they both completely bricked the river with different like ace highs, like an ace 6 and like an ace 8.
So do they chop?
I think the sick part is like the ace 8 high played. It was just disgusting. So every time Rich is at a table, if I'm watching, I super enjoy it. If I'm at the table, I hate it. He's a monster, and he will not be pushed around. Not only is he really great.
Rich in?
He's in seat 1 here.
Okay.
You'll see him in a minute. Not only is Rich really great in cash, he's an excellent tournament player too. We've seen him at the final table of a lot of the bigger buy-in tournaments at Stones, and when he has a stack, man, it is just
dangerous.
Tough to get chips from him. It's tough. God, what a crusher game. No wonder they call it Harlan and Victims here. Davo starting off with the good old ace-5 suited. Ace-5 suited's the new aces, guys. Get it. And he's going to come in. Looks like for a raise, we're going to call it 30 bucks. Once again, guys, those white chips are hundreds, greens are 25s, reds are 5s. Deuces for Rich right off the bat. He doesn't even have chips, and he's just going to start verbalizing, call, raise, I win, ship it, I'll use your chips. Thank you.
Going to set mine on this board. I see lots of diamonds out. Unlikely to be a diamondy board. If it did come diamonds, we have going to have flush over flush over flush. 893 though, 1 diamond on board. And we see Kevin with top pair here with the 9-6.
And he is going to fire a bucket and a quarter. We're going to find a lot of folds pretty quick, except for Davo. He maybe forgot he had ace-5 suited, but you never know. He's going to come along.
He's got an overcard and a runner flush, runner straight.
Tell me more. Tell me more about all the runner opportunities we have. For those of you who don't know what runner is, guys, that means you literally have to hit perfect. You have to hit 2 cards in a row to make your hand, not just like one. So runner is generally not on the side of things you want to be.
4 diamonds on the turn, right here.
Oh my God, 6 sweat.
4 diamonds.
Negative.
Oh, but it is another 9 here.
Kevin
Rax trips.
He steps away from the table, comes back, and he's like, oh yeah, this is why poker's easy. I don't know why I left. I just keep making money and winning every pot. So you can see here, the only outs going to the river is basically catching a deuce for Rich to make a boat. Dave O drawing dead. Pot at 435. Kev Rax going for some value. Let's call it, 335? Something like that?
Yeah, pot now 435. Kevin betting 435. So 770 now in the pot. Rich here with the pocket deuces. Will he let it go? I think he's got to let this go now at this point here on the turn when Kevin's firing again.
Rich is going into full hoodie mode, guys. Glasses. This is full poker swag. Oh, there he's ready. Oh yeah.
Buddy.
Game face. Get ready. He's like, this is my 5K hoodie. Let's go.
All you got to do is blink. He doesn't realize he has cards still.
I think he forgot he is. Does he know it's on him? He did. I love it.
Classic. He's like, I'm checking the IG story.
I thought he was gonna pull up his phone. He's like, hold on, Snap Shove app. What should I do here? Do I gotta raise? That's so funny. That's so funny. But we've all been there, guys. We've all been at the table where you're looking around like, dude, what's taking so long? And they're like, it's on you, sir. It's on you.
It's never happened to me.
Yeah.
No,
nobody's ever done that. Nobody's ever done that.
No.
My favorite is when you misread your hand. We've all done that, right? And
never done that.
And you flip over your hand and you're like, straight. And they're like, nope. But those aren't the cards I thought I had. I had different cards in my hand.
When you're all in and you think you have,
oh yeah.
These aren't bringing back positive memories.
Then I say, oh, well, allow me to move my chips to you, sir. Let me help you out with that.
Yeah. The shame. I can just feel the red face as I've had that happen to me before, and the embarrassment as you slowly leave your seat and walk away.
Yeah, about that, guys.
You know, poker is such a lesson in mindset. I have been working on my meditation lately, and it definitely comes in handy playing poker.
Yeah.
And in life.
Mindset is a huge part of it, guys. Not going to get into details too much, but if you haven't checked out like Run It Once and checked out the Elliot Rowe Mindset Poker class, I highly, highly recommend it. There's a lot of really, really great gems in there. Not a great gem is this entire board. There's nothing here.
Swing Goal does hit a 7 on the river now.
And there's absolutely no money in the pot. Whoever is betting can have it. Nobody cares. On to the next one.
100%. Now I need you to help me come up with. So we've had you have an amazing prop bet. Mm-hmm. We've had Party have an amazing prop bet. Mm-hmm. We have Drew coming up with one where he's going to go like live on an island for a couple of days.
He's thinking he's going to go to a deserted island. Maybe we haven't figured out the details yet, but maybe just with water alone for a few days. We'll see. But he can eat whatever he finds on the island, which could be very scary and potentially poisonous. I have no idea. So we got to come up with something for you.
We have to come up with. I need your help with that.
So far, I think most prop bets have involved some potential risk of death. So how do you feel about that?
Can I just? Oh yeah, I'm not into the whole dying thing really.
You know, and that's why
especially since I moved to an island and got to start hanging out on a yacht and such. You know, I've got a lot to live for right now.
Understandable.
So maybe we could find something else for me.
Yeah, so slightly less risk of death for you then.
Right. Yeah, I think that's good, but something that we just don't think that I would be able to do.
Fair enough. Cool.
Ace 5 here for Robert. Suited. Really actually nice hands. A great hand to open 3-bet with, and as just a great bluffing candidate as well if you want to get super sticky. So let's see how he decides to play it. He does raise it up to 35. See if anyone has anything to battle with him over. Queen Jack off here for Davo, and Harlan both getting in the mix. 7-8 King. Again, a board that just really is just missing everybody. Nobody connecting, but Robert gonna continue to fire. He is our opener. He's gonna have a lot of King X in his range. He's not just playing his hand, but playing his entire range of cards that are possible for him. And he does fire. It's like we're going to just get through.
And you know it's rough when even Dave O can't find a way to find a call there. He's like, yeah.
Double check. Oh, still this garbage.
All right, so less chance of death for a potential prop bet for you. How long do you think you could? How long do you think you could stand on 1 foot?
How long do I think I could stand on 1 foot?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Should we test it out?
Nope. Just curious. Just ballpark it for me. 5 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours.
No wind.
No wind. Yeah, just stand in the middle of an air-conditioned room. Perfect elements.
Best case scenario, 5 minutes. I mean, I like busted. Playing basketball, I busted this ankle a bunch of times. It's like
So let's go on the other ankle.
Unstable knee, unstable hip. You know, neither one of them are great. Hey, he's making me call myself out here for being an old disabled person. So
I didn't say you had to get the handicap placard or anything for your car. I think we're good. I think we're good here. I know you're an athletic girl. I was just curious. We'll come up with something fun.
5 minutes.
We'll come up with something fun.
But
I know one of the
something on horses. Let's see. I got to ride horses on the beach here in the Virgin Islands, galloping them along the beach, and I also got to save the producer's life. That was pretty epic.
Nice, yeah. What's up?
No, I was just going to say, Kevin Rax is going to raise it up here with the king-queen off from the cutoff.
Ooh.
And Joe B is going to come along with the exact same hand. Makes the call from the big blind.
And double R there, or doubler, is Rich with the mystery hand. He's going to come in for a healthy 3-bet up to 2 1/4. And now action back over to K-Rack.
What do you think about Joe B flatting here? Do you lean toward flat in the big blind with the king-queen, or would you like to have seen a 3-bet? He would be playing the pot out of position if he does, against Kevin Rax with his 3-bet. He doesn't have ace high. He just has the king-queen here. Or do you lean towards a 3-bet?
Because I'm out of position, I personally don't like playing super out of position. King-queen is one of the few hands where I kind of might be okay with it, though. I could go either way on the fence there. Because the 3-bet, the thing is, if I 3-bet and I miss and I don't connect with the board, I'm most likely going to get shut down. If I check, I'm going to get, if I c-bet, I'm going to get probably raised. I doubt I'm going to have my opponents.
And then now you have to double barrel on a turn. Or if you check, you're giving up control to a later position, and you're likely going to have to fold anyway when you don't connect. So, yeah.
I think most of the time I probably find a flat there with king-queen, to be honest with you. That's just me personally. And then again, you see Rich there popping up from the under the gun from the basically straddle. And Rich is one of those guys who definitely likes to take squeeze spots in a lot of these pots, right? So if there's already free money out there, Rich likes uncontested cash. So he's going to raise there with a much wider range than most other opponents. I think it was still the mystery hand, but this hand is shaping up to be a good one.
Ooh-wee.
Robert opens to 35 with 10s, over to Swing Bull with aces, who's going to click it up to, it looks like a $1.40, $1.35.
I will say one last thing on that is I just think I kind of like a mixed strategy in that spot, especially out of the big blind, sometimes flat and sometimes 3-bet. But yeah, the aces here raising it up to 135, and we've got double R with the king 4 of hearts, straight baller status, who's going to make the call. 3-4 queen, 2 spade board. Robert still has the best of it. Only one overcard. I'm sorry. Swing Bull still has the best of it here with the pocket aces. Robert, though, with only one overcard to his pocket 10s. You can't hate it too much. It is 3-way. He's probably going to play it fairly. Oh, is he? And he lets it go because he's woo. It's good like that. And on this turn, we've got a set for Swing Bull.
This is an absolute crusher turn, but not actually the turn that Swing Bull would want to see. You're blocking pretty much all of the other ace combos that your opponents could have. And so this ace is a scare card for them now, rather than a helpful card for your value range.
Right, to get value. Makes sense.
And it also completely gives the check mark to Swing Bull, where double R is drawing dead, which is kind of cool, but double R doesn't have a strong enough hand to ever pay you off.
Right.
Always good action here at Stones Live. Always great action. Once again, guys, if you haven't done so yet, give us a click, heart, follow, subscribe. We are here spewing live cash game action with you every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Also for special events outside of that, like our upcoming Stones Live Fall Classic, as well as our Quantum. Quantum's always good. Many starting flights.
Oh my gosh,
and
I wish I could play the Quantum.
The Quantum is amazing, guys. Check out the full schedule either in our app or our website, but it's really cool. As long as you bag and take chips into a second day, every additional time you bag after up to each of the 9 starting flights is an extra $900. And buy-ins are as low as $100, up to 220. And even if you want to direct buy into day 2 with a huge heaping 100K stack, you can do that as well. It's a fantastic format, so check it out there on stoneslive.net.
Pocket 7's here for Kevin Rax, under the gun +2. Just going to make the call here from early position, limping in. Pocket 6 is for JJ. Says he calls 25. So yeah, Dave-O with the 5-3 decided to raise it up to 30. And now we've got the 6s and the 7s coming along.
Queen Jack Deuce peels down, a couple of spades on board, and it looks like we have a gut shot for Swing Bull. Other than that, not a whole ton going on. We also have a gut shot for Joe B. Meanwhile, K-Rax, 7, still in the lead, but again, in a 5-way pot. Can you really feel super comfortable on a very coordinated Jack-Queen board?
Very coordinated board, Jack-Queen, yeah. Very likely to have a lot of Queen X and Jack X in your opponent's hands here. It's also just like thinking about how these opponents are like putting together their ranges pre-flop, and I've noticed some limping strategy, and I'm not sure what limits they normally play, but like with the 6th and 7th limping in, you know, I think what it may be is like if your hand isn't strong enough that you really want to play it in a three bet pot, that those hands that they're going ahead and choosing to limp in, whereas maybe in a smaller game they would choose to open with those hands. Do you think that might be what's going on?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think a lot of these players are kind of passive. It really depends on the player. Some of these players play their pocket pairs very passively, while others take the much more aggressive route. The passive ones are pretty much the ones who only look to make a set or they're gone. They're not really looking to play a whole lot of tricky check raise post flop type stuff where they can just blow their opponent off their range. I think they're just like, look, I have 4s. If I hit a 4, great. If I don't, I'm gone. They're just kind of like buying a lottery scratcher at that point and really not looking to play a lot of aggressive, super deep post flop strategy.
Right. I just think isolating with an open just is so much more effective and all around. I mean, 6s and lower in a larger stakes game from earlier position. I mean, I can see merits of just folding, but like 7s and above, and also, you know, even some of these pocket pairs from like middler position, it just seems like a better overall strategy to open oftentimes, just because 1, you're going to isolate, and 2, you know, you're not limited to having these sorts of hands where you're kind of, you know, giving away the strength of your hand based on your betting strategy, but you can rep a lot of different things post flop if you feel confident in your post flop play. 6 here on the turn on this Queen Jack Ace flop. Robert did flop bottom pair on this board, and Dave-O with the 3 high flush draw.
Oh, the good old 3 high flush draw, which goes to Brick City Population U, bro. 10 cards now to the Broadway straight, and Robert is thinking, do I bet this? Because Dave-O could have any 2 Christmas cards in his hand. Let's see. Dave-O just smiles and says, can you beat the absolute worst possible hand? Can you beat that?
Nut low.
Cool.
Nut low.
The answer is no. Just a couple more hands in tonight's episode, guys, but don't worry. There will be many, many more to come. Reunited, and it feels so good.
I feel like I'm home, even though I'm here on the island. Being here with you guys, Stones Live, with Train. Yeah, it's a great feeling. It makes me feel very, very happy.
So I hope you're ready for more and more Stones Live action coming soon from the island.
And the island has been so amazing. Just the tools that I feel like we've been given, as far as we've been given Raise Your Edge and the Elliot Row course, being able to study, also just being surrounded in a house with all of these different poker players, different personality styles that all provide something different. And you know what I think looking forward to the most, I mean, it's amazing getting to open up my door and look out on this beautiful balcony every day, but just the ability to get better and to be around all these amazing people has just been so epic. So yeah, you guys stay tuned for more to come from like the Stones Live family, the Thirst Lounge family. We are really putting in a lot of work, both in like content production and just getting better overall. And yeah, I can't wait to see what comes down the line from all of us.
It's going to be very, very strong. Let me show you what's coming down the line in this pot right here. Absolutely epic. Super stone cold nut flop here for Dave-O. After he raises to 30, he gets 3-bet pre by Doubler, who also flops top pair open-ended. Guys, there is blood in the water, and we will see some sharks feeding here. Double R Pyres 130 after Davo checks the flop, and Davo just check calls you. Dirty birdie you. Now to the turn. Show me a random brick. Show me or a 7 would be sick. That is the deuce of pumpkins, guys. That is about the worst brickosaurus you can see there. And now, let's see if Davo decides to take a betting line now. That ought to be interesting. He does not. I believe he checks again. And now, again, Doubler's got to be feeling great about his hand. And let's see the sizing he elects. Pot is 450 currently. And Doubler elects to bet 280. And this is music to Dave's ears with an unbeatable hand at this point.
Is he going to give him the bad news now, or do you think he's going to wait till the river?
I think we wait till the river, right? I mean, there's
But
not
here's the
really a
thing.
whole lot more going on out there.
I feel you.
Or do
but
we
he
charge
is-
him now? Do we
he
charge
is
him
out
now?
of- He is out of position. So the fear is, on the river, he's just going to lead river on a lot of cards that could scare Double R into folding. Whereas right now, Double R may hold on for another street where, or like you just can never risk checking over to Double R on the river when you're holding the nuts facing a check back. So, it's kind of an interesting spot. What do you think?
Well, and it's a really weird line for Dave to take now at this point, because let's think, what did the deuce ever complete? Dave raised pre-flop and then called a 3-bet, right? Is he ever doing that with 10 deuce, 9 deuce, 8 deuce? Absolutely not. Is he doing that with deuces? Maybe, but does he actually get to a turn with deuces? And does he call 130 with deuces on that board? I don't think so. So the deuce doesn't really make any sense. So check raise now might actually scare your opponent away. This ought to be interesting. 9 does pair the board now on the river. Dave still with the check mark. Pot is officially at 1K, and it looks like Dave's got 1,300 behind first to act now.
Oh, so he did just call. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, board pairs on the turn. See, this is what I was talking about. So now the board pairs on the turn. If he tries to lead big here now, he's just very unlikely to get more action out of Double R, like on any diamond, river, or like a paired board type of card. Whereas on the turn, Double R may have felt safe enough on that board after the flop to see another card.
Well, plus you also want to charge your draws too there. If he fires and check raises on the turn, that's great, because how does 10-Jack not continue on that turn?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's
course.
so much potential for you.
Right,
even
for
if
you to hit your straight, yeah.
Even if you are behind, let's say against a set of 8s or 9s, you still have outs. You're still open-ended for a 7 or a queen.
100%. Yeah.
You know?
That's why I like the check raise on the turn there versus trying to hold off to the river. And did he get any more value there?
He didn't. He actually checked the river, and then, of course, Double R check behind, guys. We do have a dealer change here, and that means it is Bompotosaurus time. I think it is, guys. For those of you, this will be our last hand, so this is a perfect way to end it. For those of you who don't know what a bomb pot is here, guys, we do them every time there's a dealer change at Stones Live. Every player throws in a predetermined amount. In this particular case, it looks like it's $25. All players are dealt in. We go to a flop, and everybody is in it for post-flop play with a juicy pot to fight for.
We see Robert has pocket 10s here. Yeah, anyone can have anything, and it can be very scary and fun. What size? They're just doing $25 bomb pots. Pot's already at 200. We're going to go straight to the flop. 3, 4, ace, 2 hearts on board. Anyone with an ace ball here?
There's the Bompotosaurus logo.
Bompotosaurus.
And you know what they say, Case?
Everyone loves a bomb pot. Whee!
There it is, guys. There's the jingle. We love it. Shouts out to everyone loves a chop pot. You guys know the jingle. We adopted it for the bomb pot. Fantastic here. Now, the thing about a bomb pot is it also puts everybody in what we call that...
Everybody.
And what we
Tell me
call...
more, darling.
And what we call that rangeless beast category. I think players are extremely cautious because any 2 random pair are available. You can't put anybody in a certain range of hands because there's no pre-flop play. And Harlan with 9s, Robert with 10s.
Unless you have the stone cold nuts, you're always just like a little bit weirded out by what's going on and what someone else could have. But also, it's surprising when you watch enough of these bomb pots how many times nobody has anything.
Oh my
right?
God,
And
yeah.
how many times they really are up for sale. And then the rest of the time, the other 1/3 of the time, they're like just super nutted, and it's just ridiculous.
Well, look at this. There's a 4-card straight on the board and an overcard with the ace, and Robert's 10s are still magically good in an 8-way pot. How is this even
Nobody
possible?
has an ace. I know, it's sick. That's what I mean. It's like the bomb part. It's so weird. And this is where like skill and really not only exploitative, but also you've got to be more exploitative here in being able to read your opponents and also just kind of checking betting patterns and seeing how it all folds out. But yeah, these ones get a little nuts though. And right now, Robert is going to start betting his tens. He kind of felt it out and thought, shit, maybe nobody does really have anything.
And Robert bet 75 to win 200, and it's a good day at the
Sick.
office. I'll take it all day.
You know, like so many other opponents are just like on ace 4 3 deuce 2 hearts. Like, when is this ever good?
Wow.
And when is it ever getting through? Right?
Wow. Well, hey, that was an amazing first edition of Stones Live Island Edition with myself, Justin Kelly, of course, and the one and only Kasey Mills coming at you. Wow, good times.
It was amazing. I felt a little rusty, but you guys all make me feel so welcome and so happy, and I always feel so good with my boy Justin here. So a lot more to come. I'm very excited. It was really fun to just kind of feel like we brought home to us.
It's so good. It's always good to have just everything amazing in one place. I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
I didn't get to do a full Xena, but you can do exclamation Xena in the chat.
You sure can.
And be able to spot that. Maybe next time somebody does an epic play, I'll get to do a full Xena. And I would like more Russian from you. Could you just promise me a little bit more Russian,
Understandable,
please?
I will.
Okay.
And and I understand the full Xena because you can't rush a full Xena. It just has to happen naturally.
That's right.
All right, you guys are amazing, and we will see you guys very soon.